Before there was a country called Nigeria, there were nations within it, kingdoms, empires, and people with ancient legacies. Welcome to the first episode in our thrilling journey through the powerful history of Nigeria, told in 3 powerful chapters: before amalgamation, during the colonial era, and post-independence. In this series, we don't just tell history, we bring it to life. So buckle up, this is Nigeria, like you've never heard it before. Before Nigeria was ever a country, it was a land of kingdoms, empires, and ancient civilizations. It was not one people, but many. Not one voice, but a chorus of languages, customs, and beliefs that had been forged through centuries of migration, war, trade, and transformation. Long before the British arrived, before there was any thought of a nation called Nigeria, they were the children of Nok. As far back as 1000 BC, they sculpted terracotta heads with haunting almond-shaped eyes in what is now central Nigeria. They were not idle artists, they were farmers, blacksmiths, early innovators of iron smelting, and they left behind a mystery still being uncovered today. To the west, the drums of power beat in Ile-Ife. The Yoruba people believed the gods placed the very first human being here. By the 11th century, Ile-Ife had become a spiritual heartland. Its rulers descended from Oduduwa, the divine ancestors. Not far from it, Oyo rose, fierce and organized. At its peak, Oyo's cavalry thundered across the savannah, stretching its influence from the forest to the plains, collecting tribute, building roads, and establishing one of the most sophisticated governance systems in pre-colonial Africa. In the north, where the desert whispers secrets, the Sahel cradled the mighty Kanem-Bornu Empire. For nearly 1,000 years, it stood as a force of Islamic scholarship and trans-Saharan trade. Then came the rise of Hausa city-states like Kano, Zaria, and Katsina, each a hub of commerce, culture, and Islamic jurisprudence. Their markets teemed with leather, kola nut, salt, gold, and wisdom. And then around 1804, a storm brewed. A quiet teacher named Usman Danfodio lit the spark of a jihad that swept across northern Nigeria. He founded the Sokoto Caliphate, a vast Islamic empire built on scholarship, faith, and reform. It united diverse Hausa and Fulani territories under one banner. It was not just a religious movement, it was a revolution. Meanwhile, in the delta where the river sprawled into tangled mangroves, the Niger flowed like an artery, feeding life and trade. The people of the Niger Delta, the Ijaw, the Ishekiri, the Urobo, have long made their living from the rivers, fishing, trading, and navigating with expert ease. With the rise of the transatlantic slave trade, this region turned into a haunted frontier. Chiefs struck uneasy deals with European ships, people were sold, fortunes were made, and societies were broken. Yet, from this brutal commerce, city-states like Bonny, Okpobo, and Calabar rose. Men like King Jaja of Okpobo, once sold into slavery, rose to power through sheer will and cunning, becoming merchant kings who defied the Brits with grit and guile. And in the east, the Igbo people lived not under kings, but in republics, egalitarian and fiercely independent. Their communities were led by council elders, title holders, and age grades. They didn't build an empire, they built systems. Orders from consensus, powers shared rather than inherited. This was Nigeria before it was Nigeria. It was a land of traders and warriors, priests and prophets, sculptors and scribes, a land where no single story could explain the whole. The people had no need for the word Nigeria. They had their own names, their own nation, their own gods. But soon, foreign ships would arrive, not just to trade, but to conquer. Foreign maps will draw boundaries where none had existed. The kingdoms will face guns, treaties, and deceit, and everything would begin to change. If this episode opened your eyes to the hidden past of Nigeria, there's more to come. In the next episode, we dive deeper into the age of European contact, the horrors of slave trade, and the resistance that echoed across the land. Don't miss it. Like this video if you've learned something new. Comment below which of these ancient Nigerian civilizations fascinates you, and subscribe with notifications turned on so you know exactly when we drop the next chapter. This is just the beginning. The story of Nigeria is far from over.